Good morning, students. Today we are going to talk about the present perfect tense. So, to talk about events that have already happened or not yet happened, we use the present perfect tense. So, in English, this means using the word have as a helping verb. So, this can get confusing in Spanish because in English we use the same word in two pretty different ways. So, we're going to take a look at an example. So, we can use the verb to have, tener, to talk about possession. I have a dog. I own a dog. I have it. We can use the verb to have to, which in Spanish is tener que, to have to talk about obligations. I have to study. Okay, tener que. I have to do something. And then we can use the verb have as an auxiliary verb, sometimes called a helping verb, which forms the present perfect tense. I have done nothing wrong. In Spanish, they do not use any form of the verb tener as a helping verb. Instead, they use haber. So with our first two ways that we use have in English, to have and to have to, they do use tener. They just add the que to mean the two. But then when we're saying I haven't done it yet, they use the verb haber. So the verb haber is translated in English in some pretty different ways that aren't really intuitive. You wouldn't really ever guess it. So the present tense of haber is I, which translates to there is or there are. The imperfect tense of haber is había, which translates to there was or there were. And then haber is also translated as has or have plus the past participle to form a helping verb or to form the present perfect tense. So here are the conjugations of haber used in the present perfect tense. I have done something. He, has, ha, hemos, habéis, han. So that's what, and then you add your past participle. So he hecho, I have done. Has comido, you have eaten. Ha regalado, she has gifted. Hemos visto, we have seen. Han llegado, they have arrived. That is the present perfect tense, and that's how you form it in Spanish. So, a note on the use of past participles with the present perfect tense. We've talked about using past participles as adjectives, and when we use past participles after the verb estar, you have to make the ending match the gender and the number of the noun it modifies. So you could have cansado, cansada, cansados, cansadas, depending on what noun you're describing if you're using it with the verb estar. In the perfect tenses, if you're using a past participle with some form of haber, has, a, whatever it may be, because it's used as a verb and not as an adjective, you do not change the past participle. So if haber comes before the past participle, you just keep it in the masculine singular form. So here are some examples of the present perfect tense in Spanish. We've got ella ya ha ido de tapas. She has already gone out to eat. So it's something that has already happened or hasn't happened yet. That's the way we use the present perfect. So Rosa nunca ha robado nada. Rosa has never stolen anything. Yo he tomado muy buenos apuntes. I have taken very good notes. Él ha roto la bicicleta. He has broken the bicycle. Ellos han escrito la carta. They have written the letter. Nosotros ya hemos dicho que es correcto. We have already said that it's correct. Tú has puesto la mesa. You have set the table. So you'll remember, you should recognize ido, robado, tomado, roto, escrito. These are those past participles. And usually, you might say escrito, escritas, whatever, escrita, if you're talking about the card is, or the letter is written, escrita. But because we're using these as verb, because what comes right before the past participle is a form of haber, you just leave it in the masculine form, right? With the O ending. When you use an object pronoun or a reflexive pronoun with a present perfect tense, you put them before the conjugated form of haber. So you'll remember that with two verbs together, you can choose to put the object pronoun before both verbs or after. So, for example, you could say te vamos a visitar or vamos a visitarte. We're going to visit you. They're both correct. Lo quiero llevar or quiero llevarlo, they're both correct because you've got two verbs right in a row here, and with those Pronouns, object pronouns, you can put it before or after. However, in the present perfect tense, you can only say te he comprado. To say to say he comprado te is incorrect. So most of the time when you've got two verbs together, you can te, me, lo, las, whatever it might be. You can put it before or after. With the present perfect tense, just with this verb tense, it has to come before both verbs. You can't say he te comprado either. It has to come before. Te he comprado. Lo has comprado. Los hemos comprado. So here are a few more examples. Alberto te ha comprado el billete? Has Albert bought you the ticket? Sí, me lo ha comprado. Yes, he has bought it for me. Words like already and never are often used with the present perfect tense. So in Spanish, you want to put these words before the conjugated form of haber. Nunca me has comprado flores. You have never bought me flowers. So the never or already comes before. If you have an object, object pronoun, it comes then, and then you've got the haber form and then the past participle. Ya te lo he dicho. I have already told you. So there is a written accent over the I in the past participle of ER and IR verbs with a stem that ends in A, E, or O. So traer, to bring, becomes traído. And because we've got two vowels back to back, they want to make sure that you're pronouncing both of these so that you don't say traído, it's traído. So you have to put the accent. Oír, to hear, becomes oído. It's not oído, it's oído. So you put the accent on there. Leer, to read, isn't leído, it's leído. So you put the accent on the I. So for example, no he leído la nueva novela de Pérez Reverte. I haven't read the new novel by Pérez Reverte. And that is how you form the present perfect tense.